This is for Bernie. Welcome to the Tom Barnard Show. There. Can I say with the family? I can still say with the family, can't I?
Oh, why not?
Okay, welcome to the Tom Barnard Show with the family. And here is...
Andy Brant Barnard.
And Kristen Burt.
And Kristen Burt, ladies and gentlemen. It's unbelievable. We were just talking out there about going to Ireland and how wonderful it was. Scotland. Everybody wants to wrestle me in Ireland and Scotland because they're not very big people, actually. The Irish and the Scots are not very big people.
No? I always thought Scottish people were supposed to be big.
Well, they're a little bigger than Irish people, but not,
Let's see. Average height in Ireland for a man is 5'10", so I don't know.
Oh, is it now?
That's pretty average, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Scotland
Absolutely.
is 5'9", so Scots are actually an inch shorter than Irish people.
Shorter than Irish people,
Well, for men, anyway. Oh, it's the same for women, actually.
That's funny that came up because just yesterday, I got on the elevator in West Palm Beach, and both of the men in the elevator were taller than me, and that never happens here.
People
because
are
it's
tall as hell all of a sudden.
Yeah, but here you never ran into tall people.
West Palm Beach, yeah, is, I would say, a very short town.
But both the guys in the elevator were at least 2 inches taller than I was. Your mother's taller than most of the men here.
You need to run into my brother. My brother's tall and big.
Oh, is he? Well, now, where is he?
Miami. He's in Miami now. He used to be in your area.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But he's in Miami now? Mm-hmm. But I tell you, this is...
Out in the Minnesota countryside, you will find numerous 6-foot-tall women.
Yeah, yep.
Very strange, because when I was growing up, I don't ever remember women being like maybe 5'10" was like the high end, except for extreme outliers. But now I swear to God, it's like a quarter of women are 6 feet tall.
There's a woman in our building here is about 6'2". Mm-hmm. She's very tall, she's kind of lean and very tall. Very nice woman. She reminds me of somebody, but I can't remember who the hell it is. Anyway, Kristen Burt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. You'll be happy to know, Kristen Burt, that I have a couple of things I want to talk about. One when you're here and one when you're not here, and it concerns our political parties right now. These people are all insane. All of them are crazy.
Yes, and that's why I like to talk entertainment. Entertainment's
good, but I just want to mention one thing because you'll like this part. That's all I have to say. Well, we're gonna later on in the show after you're off the show. We're gonna, unless you want to stay on the show for a while, we're going to talk about swatting. Have you had to deal with swatting at all in your area?
Swatting is very common for celebrities.
That's what I thought. Mm-hmm. So do you want to be on for part of that?
You've heard about swatting?
Yeah. I mean, well, it's not political, is it? Or is it political?
No, it's not political. I think a lot of times it's just pranksters that like to target celebrities, and then all of a sudden the whole SWAT team shows up. I know what happened to Ashton Kutcher. So it shows up to Ashton Kutcher's house. And then sometimes they're just like sitting in the living room in their boxers, eating snacks, watching, I don't know, football or something. And you've got an entire SWAT team coming out.
Well, maybe when our guest comes on, you can be on for a few minutes with her because, some people think it's all political and it's all Democrats going after the Republicans, but I didn't see that in it.
Well, in this case, the guest is going to be on about a rash of conservative influencers being swatted.
Oh, is that what they're after?
Been a bunch of them in the past week or two.
One of the guys is on Twitter. Or an X, or whatever you call it this week. I can't remember.
All the influencers are on
Cat X. Turd. There's a guy on there named Cat Turd. And apparently they've gone after him like 4 times.
Which is such a waste of a city's resource. And I think about it, especially in Los Angeles right now, our focus is still on the wildfires. People still aren't back in their homes. If their homes survive, they're not back in their homes. Yep. I just saw an interview with Conan O'Brien. He said, I'm still living in a hotel. My house exists, but I cannot go back to it because it's toxic. He still needs to do he's going to have to do a whole renovation of his home, even though it survived.
Okay, now I want you to pass out here because I keep telling people that I don't care for either party anymore. I don't hate anybody. Like if you're a Democrat, let's say you're a Democrat, Kristen, and Andy's a Republican, which he's not, I wouldn't have anything against either one of you because I like you as people. But they're taking this latest thing now for me. And you're going to like this one because I've known Mike Lindell for 15 years, probably, at least 10 years, right? And he's a pretty conservative guy. And for some reason, and I think it's just, no, more me now. Notice me because I'm here now. Now Elon Musk is going after him saying, are my pillows even that great a pillow? I mean, I am so tired of these political figures just puking up all their ass kissing. Oh, God, it's disgusting.
Elon Musk is entitled to not like my pillows. If he's
well, yeah, but why would you chirp about it?
I don't know.
Well, he knows that Lindell and Donald Trump, I guess, are friends, and I guess Elon Musk is friends with Donald Trump too. But how you're worth? How much is he worth? Like $450 billion, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
It depends on the day as the stock price goes down. I think it's going less and less.
That's a good point. But I am so sick of just going after each other for no reason. Mike Lindell, this is my opinion, because I didn't look at the register and all of it. Mike Lindell pissed away tens of millions of dollars supporting Donald Trump. And now that he needs some help, I don't see Donald Trump or Elon Musk stepping up to help him. So you're disgusting pigs. He can help you all that he possibly can, but if comes time to help him, you won't do it. You're a disgusting politician. That's all I have to say.
That's why you shouldn't subscribe to either party.
Absolutely.
I'm not.
I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying in general.
In general, I agree.
It's not, it's just not a great idea.
Loyalty is a two-way street, and in this case, it's not.
It's not anymore. I mean, he couldn't. I still do Mike Lindell's commercials on my show, and I don't charge him for them right now because he needs some help because he pissed away so much money on politics. You know, he's a nice guy. Look, I understand how he's not everybody's kind of guy. I understand that because he's way over the top with the personality and all the rest of it. But I just. Why Elon Musk, who's the richest person in the history of the planet Earth, well, are they even that good a pillow? Shut up, for Christ's sake.
Well, I'll just say from a pop culture psychological analysis of this whole situation, this there's going to be a big fight amongst the boys.
There's no question.
And it's not going to end well. I think that's it. No one needs to know my opinion beyond that, but I just think from a perspective of behavior, this is all going to be very messy when everyone's ego starts clashing big time. Well,
Kristen, you were around, I think, for part of it when they went after me because I had a 40 share in the morning on KQRS, and I all of a sudden became the devil of radio in America. Why? Just because of radio? I don't call to go ahead. I'm knocking on your door. You have to listen to me. I didn't make people listen to me. They just happened to. Thank God. I'm still very grateful. But I became the devil because of my ratings. What is that?
Well, in Hollywood, we see this all the time. They build you up.
We do.
They get you to the top. And once you are at the top, they cannot wait. When you're at that peak, they just kind of like flick you off. It's just like a little flick too. And it starts with something very just small and imperceptible. God. And then it starts the snowball and you start just rolling down the hill. And now that we have social media and everybody has a voice, and people should have a voice, but I mean, the way social media voice, sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, the keyboard warriors, all of that, it can absolutely ruin a career. And I think that's why a lot of celebrities are retreating from even just talking about politics. It serve anybody. And it's just one of those situations. Mike is probably seeing the after effects of what it was like to align with somebody.
Yep, I think it's a massive mistake. I'll take a quick break here, be right back. Okay, you can probably, when she hops on with us, you could probably stick around for a couple minutes. I hope you can stay till the top of the hour.
Yeah, I can stay till the top of the hour.
I just think it'll be interesting because even though it has a political lean to it, I suppose everything does, but maybe it's just their turn to be swatted, I guess.
I think it's their turn. It's just the climate right now.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Let's take a second to talk about my bank, and that would be North American Banking Company. You've heard me talk about them for a long time now. When they opened in 1998, they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers, where you know your banker and they know you. Well, a lot has changed since 1998. This commitment to being a true community bank in the Twin Cities has not. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabanco.com or stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Allie?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands-free, but you can't have your phone in your hand for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget. And now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand and you're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB, something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So, Kristen, any big stories in Hollywood I should know about?
Gene Hackman. The story just continues going on and on. His will was revealed. And it's going to be the next chapter of this. Gene Hackman did his will was last written in 1995. His kids were not anywhere written into the will. He 100% left his estate to his wife, Betsy. Betsy, of course, also passed away several weeks ago, and her will gave everything to Gene, except if they died within 90 days of each other, her entire estate went to charity.
Oh, God. Right. Oh, God.
Here you go. So now you have, what's happening here. Now you have his son, Christopher, who I think we've talked about this, has been estranged from his father since the 90s, or even going back to the 80s, I believe, when his parents separated. But he is already contesting the will, because there is a belief, or there is legal precedent for the kids to be able to at least get their father's share, because they're next. They're his heirs, and Betsy predeceased Gene. So that's going to, so that is going to create a pretty massive probate case.
God, that's so unbelievable. The greatest thing about that all is that I inherited everything from my mother, but most of it was debt. So there you go.
You're like, thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom, for leaving me your debt. I really appreciate it. There wasn't that much. It was not that big a deal. But I suppose do you have knowledge, or maybe you mentioned it and I didn't hear it, how much was Gene Hackman worth when he died?
That hasn't been revealed yet, but obviously we know that we have the Santa Fe estate, which is sizable. There's 3 structures on the property itself, so it's not a small, tiny house or anything else like that. And I'm sure that he does have some income. He will have his SAG pension, of course. So there's going to be some things for them to fight over.
Yeah, he's got to be worth it like 40, 50 million, I would think.
I wonder what Celebrity Net Worth says he's worth. I mean, they're not that accurate, but
no. I just say anywhere between the lowest estimate I can find and the highest estimate I can find.
Somewhere in the middle of that.
That's the best I can do.
That's true.
They're saying, then we're just saying this is they're saying it's 83.8 million. That's Hello Magazine. So let's even just say, let's put it at like a 50 million maybe, because he hasn't really acted in a long time. But at 50 million, and even if they sell the home, half the estate goes to charity because that was Betsy's wishes, his kids are still going to get a sizable amount of money.
Yeah.
If that's the way the case goes.
I hate it because he was such a nice man to me. Like I said, I talked to him many times about his books and his movies and all that stuff. He's a very, very pleasant guy.
But not someone who was a great father, apparently.
I guess not.
I think he had reestablished a relationship with his 2 daughters, but had never reestablished that relationship with his son. He had been away filming for most of Christopher's childhood, and that really led to the estrangement.
Your mom just showed up, so you can bring her up on screen if you want.
I got to open up my computer.
She hasn't opened her computer yet.
I'm working on it.
So far, we've talked about the fact that Elon Musk should shut up about certain things that do with politics in America, because what is he from, New Zealand, or where is he from?
He's from South Africa.
Oh, South Africa. That's right.
What are you talking about? We're
just talking about what we were discussing at the beginning of the fact that 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 Elon Musk is saying, well, are my pillows even that good a pillow? And he's only doing it because Trump and
when did he
Mike
do this? When did all this
yesterday.
happen? Oh.
Yeah, so he and Mike Lindell are, Trump and Mike Lindell were good buddies, and Trump actually did mention Lindell again. But now, of course, the richest man in the world is jealous of the attention. So he's, is Kristen Burt even that good a person? That's what I want to know.
I am.
I am a wonderful person, as a matter
out
of
of
fact.
the fray. That's making me.
So he tweeted this about my pillow?
I don't know if he tweeted or not, but it was all over. When I went to a site to check out, because I'm still doing a My Pillow thing for another couple of weeks for
Has
free,
anyone
so.
seen Mike Myers' impersonation of Elon Musk?
I love Mike Myers anyway.
It is really good. He's been doing it, I think, maybe the past 2 weeks on SNL. The clips are very funny. It's really well done.
I love Mike Myers. I think he's hilarious.
He's so funny. He's someone I feel like should be working all the time. I don't think he wants to work all the time. I think he's kind of picks and chooses when he decides to come out of semi-retirement. But
he had a couple of really good movies. I will tell you that. I liked some of his movies.
Wayne's World is a classic.
It's really a good movie. You're absolutely right about that. So Andy, Andy's got his headphones off.
Are you sure that it's actually happened on his site? Because
I'm not saying it was on his site. I'm just saying it was reported in the news.
Oh, because I'm going back 4 days and I don't.
No,
see
it was in the news
like
that
he
was.
Still haven't gotten a phone call, by the way.
What's that?
Still haven't gotten a phone call, by the way.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah, I was talking to Kristen about that whole situation. She said, Kristen, Catherine is here now, and you said basically that this whole swatting thing goes from the Democrats to the Republicans to the Democrats to the Republicans, so it bounces around politically.
Everything bounces around.
Yeah, and I just went and looked at the celebrity list too. Around 2012, 2013, it was a hot thing to do in Hollywood.
I remember that, yeah.
Well, this is actually getting people. Somebody died.
Yeah,
a police officer actually got killed during one of these SWATs, and there's a big ramp up as of 4 days ago. They've been calling in on people's children, and there have been people showing. SWAT teams are showing up. Mm-hmm. In the middle of the night, and it can be as weird as sending somebody 100 pizzas COD, but it's also to the point where, Kash Patel, he has just today said that they are going to start treating this as domestic terrorism, which it is. I mean,
that's what it got.
You should not have to worry about being killed in the middle of the night because somebody doesn't like what you say on Instagram.
Well, and also the resources from the city. I think just saying this as an LA specific situation right now, all of our money and resources should be going to rebuilding from the wildfires.
Sure,
you don't need a random celebrity, whomever it is, or if there's a political figure like Kamala Harris lives here in Brentwood. She shouldn't be swatted all of a sudden.
No, nobody should be swatted.
Nobody.
No, nobody should be swatted, and it's really unfortunate that you can talk people into doing such horrible things for things that they probably don't even know what's actually going on 90% of the time. And this being paid to protest and all this garbage, everything's just gone too far. Everything has.
One thing I will tell you that I really enjoyed about growing up where I did in a pretty ghetto-y neighborhood and all the rest of it, you do what you do, but you better do it in person. You just start bad-mouthing people behind the scenes, you better be ready if I'm coming over to your house to knock your ass out, because they'd put up with none of that. I mean, it wasn't swatting, that kind of thing. But you know how people love to bad-mouth each other on the street corner and all that? They love to do that. That did not happen a lot in my neighborhood, because you were going to have to pay the price if you did that.
I grew up in a very gossipy neighborhood. I mean, nobody was getting beat up. It's just, you know what?
Yeah.
People weaponize things. Like one neighborhood, maybe it's you weaponize with your fist. Maybe in another neighborhood, you weaponize with your mouth. And that gossip can be just as destructive as a fist fight. A fist fight will probably be over with, and everyone will probably move on a lot faster than the rumor mill when you really think about it.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. I don't know. It's just, like I said, the political world for me, I'm kind of happy that it is going the way it's going, because I don't lean either way. I think
it all needs to fall apart, honestly. I'm like, the whole thing needs to collapse. And not that I want the U.S. to collapse, but I feel like the whole political system needs to collapse in order for there to be new ideas and a renaissance.
I love it. Well, Catherine's got a very serious look on her face.
I don't know what that looks like. I mean, we just don't have anything that we have now. We just stop everything and
no, that's not what we're saying.
Yeah, well, I'm just asking who builds it, who gets to build it, who gets to have the ideas.
Time for a revolution, maybe. I don't know. People, I think it's interesting watching the town halls, to be honest, to see communities coming together, not affiliated with a particular political party, and coming to these town halls and telling their congresspeople, like, this is not what we wanted right now. Do something.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it happen in neighborhoods where people are just like, collectively, this country is going in the wrong direction.
The whole world is now, though, don't you think? I mean,
yeah, well, of course, everyone's being impacted.
Yeah, I mean, are there any safe spots at all? I mean, it just, and the weird thing about it is, I hope all of these people, people mostly from Africa, the people are moving to other countries and all the rest of it. I hope they understand they're being used to turn the vote. I mean, that's what this whole thing is about, turning the vote one way or another in their own favor.
Well, see, that's the thing, is I just don't think that any of the political parties and the globalists and the oligarchs that are running everything are going to give up their side. They want their side to run everything.
That's correct.
And what does that mean for Americans or whoever? I mean, if you don't have a vision that everybody can agree on, I don't know how you just start over unless you just become one party.
As a boy growing up in St. Joe's School, then St. Anne's School, until I was about 12 years old, they worked for us. We did not work for them. The politicians were supposed to protect us and do our bidding, but that went away a long time ago, didn't it?
I remember years ago when you have to sign up for Social Security at a certain age.
Yes, you do.
I think it's 70 now. And we called the Social Security office, and the woman that answered the phone, we were expecting, a lot of crap and just red tape. And she was so nice. She's like, "This is your money." We were like, "What?" I haven't heard of such a thing.
What?
We were so shocked that she was so pleasant, and it was just so easy.
That's how it should be.
Yes. All right, I have returned.
You have returned. Oh, Kermit came in?
Yep.
Oh.
I love Kermit. Kermit's wonderful. Kermet Apio. You know who that is, don't you, Kristen? Comedian.
I do not.
Oh, you'd love him. Great guy.
Well, there he is.
Oh, there's Kermit right there. Look at you.
Hi.
What's that baseball cap you have on?
Oh, I didn't even think about it. It's the Kraken. I came into
It is the Kraken.
I just grabbed the cap from my hotel room. I didn't think about the tension it might cause.
One thing about Seattle is they can come up with some really good names for their teams.
Isn't that a great name?
The Kraken. Kermit, it's been a while, man. It's great to see you.
Yeah,
it's been a while, and I can't thank you enough for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, we love having you on. Kristen Bird is with us, so we got the KKK with us today. We got Kermit, Catherine, and Kristen.
I don't know if we want that.
Yeah, let's not go there. Let's not.
No.
No. Actually, if you put Andy and my initials, it would be at.
No. No, just move on. Let's move on.
So Kristen and I, we were just talking with Kristen and Catherine about how it just seems that the people that are supposed to serve the people are not serving the people. They're serving their own, themselves for the best benefit. Making all these things, all these decisions that are based more on controlling the country instead of helping the people of the country. And we're sick to death of it, And it's both parties. It's all the parties. It's everybody. It's everybody with any dough, I guess. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. There are probably some wealthy people that are nice, but I haven't met any.
There's a couple, maybe.
There's a couple, maybe.
We can count them.
No, Kermit, we were going to have somebody on talking about swatting. Do you know anything about swatting?
Well, I think it's too late at this point.
Well,
I understand it's too late.
Like 5 times. I don't know what happened.
But Kristen wanted to stay on and talk about it and Kristen and I agreed on the fact that swatting basically is where you call
a SWAT team on somebody.
You call a SWAT team and it's a lie. then they go to the house. And an officer got killed, actually, in one of them. That's how serious it's gotten.
Well, and this has been going on for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I think the problem with anything like this, if it, you know, like some sort of activist movement, when they don't get arrested and they don't get mainstream media coverage about what they're doing and how it's working, it gives them some sort of legitimacy. When nothing happens to people that do extremely horrible things. And I mean, somebody died. And it was an officer.
And a cop got killed.
And I'm looking at this too. CNN Business said that the trend has gone back to 2008 when it first kind of became an issue. And celebrities were originally like the first targets. So you have Justin Bieber, Justin Timberlake, Ashton Kutcher, Tom Cruise, Ryan Seacrest, Rihanna, Miley Cyrus, Russell Brand. It all happened to them. And it was in succession because I do remember that happening here. And they said it's just too easy to do. And they often do ID spoofing. And that's how they get through.
Well, wouldn't you think the dispatcher would be like, Russell Brand is calling me, telling me he's going to like blow up a school or something? I wonder if this is legitimate or not.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're calling, like, let's say from their house, and I say that with air quotes because they're spoofing, what if you're saying, I'm Russell Brand's assistant? And that's probably who's going to wind up calling anyway, or a manager or someone like that. They're going to react.
Yes, I understand that. But when this all started, it should have been shut down. It just should have been shut down right away. I don't care if it was a celebrity or a conservative talk show host or who the hell it was. It should have just been shut down. We're not going to put up with this. People that do this are going to get into serious trouble. And they would have stopped.
Well, I mean, half of our telecommunications laws are still worded as if it's 1940.
Yeah,
and you're prank calling the operator.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm sure it probably is illegal to send a telegram that results in someone getting killed. But, you know, people don't send a whole lot of those anymore.
No. And with the spoofing, too, it originally started with preteens. Like, if you think about this, when you were a kid and you'd, like, prank call someone, or back when we had landlines, that was so harmless. And they didn't nip it in the bud with the preteens. And now it's probably a lot more sophisticated with people doing the swatting in 2025.
Oh, yeah, there was actually a big case involved in this guy who called himself Tor Swats. So what he would do is people would send him Bitcoin, and he would make up an AI recording that would call the police and say, like, you know, my name is whatever over here at whatever address, and I'm going to kill my wife or whatever. So then SWAT would go to that address. And apparently he did it thousands of times, and they actually caught him. And people are thinking that he's probably going to be leaking a good amount of information about the people buying these services. So hopefully those people are going to go to prison for a long, long time.
Yeah, that's what you need to do. You need to utilize those tech geniuses who have used it for bad and have them turn around and use their skills for good. And you know, let's think about it. All five of us are sitting here using our voices. With AI, someone can take a bunch of words that I've said and now morph them into a situation.
I know you got to go, so I'll close with this. When I was 5 years old, went up to Long Prairie, Minnesota, where I was born, but I was raised in Minneapolis. We moved down here when I was 2. But in any case, I wanted to call somebody on the phone, and I picked up the phone, and there was somebody talking on the phone. It was a shared line, but I had never heard of a shared line, being from Minneapolis, right? So at 5 years old, I'm like, what are you doing on here? Get the hell off my grandma's phone. I started yelling at these people because I had never heard of a shared line before.
When did they stop doing shared lines?
That was a long time ago.
We never had a shared line.
I didn't either.
I remember.
No.
Well, I remember
I'm not that old.
out in the country, what I would do sometimes is I would pick up the phone, and you could hear like very faint voices of all the other people coming through the line. Because
that was the
crappy infrastructure.
Yeah, it was the first wireless phones.
Yeah,
so
they would pick up radio signals and
I
things.
would pick up the phone and be like, "Can I understand what any of these people?" I could never understand, but you could tell people were talking, and you were getting all these voices coming through. It was very weird stuff.
We actually had a neighbor that was had some sort of what was he doing? I don't know if it was shortwave radios or whatever. He had a great big huge satellite in his backyard. He was listening in on all of our conversations.
because
and
I was
spreading around a bunch of crap at bars. Yep. I actually had to take him to court.
Yep, I remember.
And get a restraining order against him.
We did.
Yeah, that's how easy it was to tap into those phones back in those days.
And I know you got to go, Kristen, so I'll say this. We were very smart. We got an Italian lawyer. He was really good at yelling at the guy.
You can't handle the truth.
Kristen, thank you. Thank you for your time, and we'll talk to you next week.
Have a great weekend.
Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. We'll take a very quick 2-minute break. Come back. Kermit back in studio after. It has been, what, 7 years maybe?
6.
Yeah, Andy and I were thinking it was about, we were thinking.
Whoa, there we go.
We were thinking about 5.
Yeah.
5 years? Yeah.
Well, because you said, you went up to the 5th floor in this building. And we.
Oh, so that was about 5 years ago, yeah.
We moved there in 2018, but we were there for probably a year or two. So somewhere between 5 and 7 years, yeah.
God, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll take a break. Be right back. Kermit in studio. We're very, very happy about. You're at Acme, right, this weekend?
Yes, I am.
Magnificent. South Dakota is one of the most business-friendly states in the country, and there's no better place to settle down and take advantage of these incentives than in Sioux Falls. As the state's largest city with a metro population of over 290,000, Sioux Falls has low business costs with a high quality of life. There's no state, corporate, or personal income tax, no inheritance tax, and no limits to what your business can achieve. Sioux Falls, South Dakota was recently ranked number 1, the number 1 best small city for business and careers by Forbes magazine, which is very important. The number 2 best state business for like tax climate, the whole deal, by the Tax Foundation, as a matter of fact. And the number 5 top state for e-commerce by Nexus. As one of the Midwest's fastest growing cities, Sioux Falls has a robust growing job market. No matter where you are in your career, you have an opportunity waiting for you. So here's the deal. Our city's tax-friendly climate and strong workforce don't go unrecognized. Forbes named Sioux Falls one of the top small cities for business and careers each of the last 15 years. In 2020, Sioux Falls also ranked as the number 4 best city for young professionals. How does South Dakota stack up against other states? We rank 2nd in the nation for the lowest cost of doing business, the most business-friendly state, and the best business tax climate. And as South Dakota's biggest city, Sioux Falls is at the center of these benefits. Now is the perfect time to make your move to Sioux Falls. Visit SiouxFallsDevelopment.com. For Brad, John Bryant, Michael Bryant. Michael, what's up?
Dealing with another case where a person gave a statement to the adjuster because they thought the person was really friendly.
Is that a good idea?
Well, the problem is they know the law when they call you up. And while you're trying to be fair and you're trying to get help, the reality is there are questions you get asked that the way you answer them make a big difference. And people put themselves in trouble. And when they aren't in trouble, they didn't do anything wrong, but suddenly the adjuster's got a statement that can blow up their case completely.
What has caused people to be so untrustworthy, I guess is the best way I could put it? They take advantage.
Well, insurance companies have hired adjusters whose job it is to deal with unrepresented people. So they're supposed to kind of lure them in, call them every day, see how they're doing. And people are like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. Where the reality is they've kind of adjusted to their problem that they've got going on. So it's not that they're completely better, but the way they say it gets to be a problem. And that's why having somebody who can explain your rights, represent you, make sure that you understand the law before you give a statement can make a big difference in your case.
Michael Bryant, Bradshaw and Bryant. Every time I hear this, I think of Rick Nelson.
Shooby-doo, baby.
Like Ricky Nelson, ladies and gentlemen. Catherine. I'll still never forget Catherine met Ricky Nelson.
I did, and he is was a dream.
Oh, she was like,
was?
Oh, look at Ricky.
Yes, he was pretty.
Oh, he died 40 years ago. Okay, then.
Is that 40 years ago?
Yeah.
Well,
Holy God.
Yeah, he died shortly after I met him.
Yeah, it was right after you met him.
It was December 31st, 1985.
New Year's Eve, yep. Plane crash, right?
Back then, it seemed every musician died of a plane crash back then.
Yeah, they kind of did.
Oh, it was
back
weird.
In time and become a musician, I'm not getting on a plane ever.
At Acme tonight, through the weekend, as a matter of fact, Kermit is with us in studio. Kermit, how often do you fly? You must fly constantly.
I do. So this conversation is a lot of fun.
You want to hear all about
it? Private plane crashes.
That's
so
true.
It's different.
That's true.
I know you're a successful comedian, but I doubt you have a private plane.
I am not private plane. I like traveling with 200 other people on. Well,
yeah, and there's nothing more fun.
Yeah, crowded, smelly.
Well, you have the one woman taking off all her clothes and running up and down the aisle. Where was that? Was that on the East Coast?
I think that was flying into Arizona. Maybe.
Oh, was it? I
think
out in Arizona.
I might be wrong. But there was another incident just the other day where somebody went psycho on an airplane. Have you ever witnessed with all those hours that you're on planes, Kermit? Anybody going nuts?
No, I've been very, very lucky on. Yeah. You know what? That's knock on wood, because that could change on Sunday when I fly home. But no, I've been very lucky. No really interesting stories. Plus, I put my headsets on and I either sleep or watch something, so I'm zoned out. I would not have noticed the naked woman running up and down the aisle.
I love the noise canceling headphones. You just go into your zone and just forget about it.
Yes. I have noise canceling and boob canceling, so I don't hear or see anything.
There you go.
Great.
Wonderful. No
That's
question.
The way to do it.
Today's show brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Kermit, don't you still consider, I think most stand-ups still consider Acme to be one of the great clubs in America.
Absolutely. It is. Yep. It is truly, put it this way. This is how good Acme is. Whenever comics hear that I headline Acme, they always ask, "You really?"
You?
So it is one of those where I am very happy to still be part of the rotation and the lineup. Yeah, it is, and it has a great reputation. And although I made the joke, it is kind of a thing when people hear that you worked Acme. It is kind of a cool thing on your resume. Comics all over the country want to get in here.
You know what's so great about that is for us, it's really nice that the comedy scene is big in Minneapolis, St. Paul, because if you just had to put up with Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesotans all the time, you'd probably hang yourself.
Yeah, it's not the people, it's the politicians.
Well, that's true. It is the politicians.
Pretty.
That's true. It is.
Pretty extreme.
I'm just waiting for someone to be like, no, Tom, actually the club I'm headlining is horrible.
Yeah, you think that'll ever? Well, Andy, that did happen one time, and I can't even remember who it was. But
somebody bombed and got mad.
I think only 2 people showed up for the show.
Oh,
so I don't think they cared much for the promotion of the show. Is what I'm saying.
2 people.
I think like 2 people showed up.
When I worked at the House of Comedy during the summer, every so often that would happen.
There were really
2 or 3 people in the audience because, I mean, in Minnesota in the summer, everyone's outside, you know.
Yep. If there's low mosquitoes and nice weather, people are gone and they're out at the cabins or on vacation.
Show when it's nice out in Minnesota.
That 1 week a year.
The same thing happens in Seattle. We don't get the extreme weather you get, but we get a lot of clouds and rain. So when that sun comes out, nobody is going indoors, you know, especially in the summer when the sun goes down at 9:30. No one's coming to a 7:30 show.
No.
And it gets really tricky. But I do want to say that I know it does sound like whenever you're in town working for a club, you're going to say great things about it. But certainly Acme's one of those, there's no exaggeration, there's no lie. It is truly a great comedy club, and it's respected around the industry. So
it is.
Yeah. So I'm glad I'm working this club with you guys because I know I don't have to exaggerate, you know.
No, I understand that completely. And by the way, my favorite to this day, the owner of the club, he's one of my favorite people in the world. And Chad Daniels tells this story. You know Chad, I'm sure.
I love Chad. Yeah.
Chad's a great guy. It was Chad Daniels the one who told me this story. He said he went to Lewis and asked if he could maybe one of these days headline at Acme. And Lewis said, "Chad Daniel, you know a headliner."
You forgot the drag of cigarette.
Oh, the drag of cigarette. That's right.
Chad Daniel, you know headliner.
Yeah, that is one of Chad's favorite stories to tell.
Yes.
It is a great story.
The best one.
Yeah, Chad was just in town. He did very, very well, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, he sold out immediately. Yeah,
he's killing it.
That was one of those weeks when it was like 20 degrees. So he had the weather on his side there.
Well, you know so the thing about that story that's important to say is that Lewis was one of the first people to headline Chad. It was just
it was.
It was just one of those things that at that moment, and Lewis seems to know these things. He has a really great intuition.
He does.
But I'll tell you, when I knew Chad was going to headline, I was headlining the old club at the mall. I can't remember the name of it, but
House Comedy.
It wasn't
the one before the
the one before it.
Yeah,
there was one before.
Oh, that's right.
God, I don't remember that.
So wasn't it like Chuckles or something like that? What was it called?
I can't remember the name of it.
A lot of them have dorky names.
Yeah, they sure do.
So I get there the first night. I've worked Acme a couple times at that point. I hadn't worked that club. First time there, and they say they introduced me to middle act, Chad Daniels. Very nice, quiet, and we had a really nice chat. Enjoyed meeting him, and I thought, oh, this guy's really nice. And he goes up, you guys, and he just destroys.
Really?
The first night was like a Wednesday night, I think. So it's a weeknight. It's a mall crowd, and he punishes them. And so the rest of the week, I am just working. I'm treading water. I'm working to have a decent show, and towards the end of the week, I said, "Why aren't you headlining?" He goes, "Oh, I don't know. I'm just a feature." I go, "No, you're not a feature." So,
no, you're not.
My story with Chad is very different from Lewis. I would, if I smoked, I would have dragged a cigarette and said, "Yes, you are a headliner."
The club was Knuckleheads.
Knuckleheads.
Oh, Knuckleheads.
God,
there you go. It was.
UMD in the chat.
So that was my first and last time working that club.
God, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when did it close? It has to be like 20 years ago at this point, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, has it been that?
I mean, I worked at the House of
be.
Comedy when I still lived in St. Paul, and that was 15 years ago minimum.
Did Scott Hansen have anything to do with it? Did he own that or something?
I don't think he owned it.
No, I don't
Was
think
he part of?
No.
I feel like he was part of a comedy club for a while.
Yeah, he had 5 of them. At one point. He had 5 of them around this area.
Okay, do you remember their names?
Comedy Gallery.
Oh, the gallery. That's a comedy gallery.
I remember
that's
I
right.
went to one of his shows and the comedians were hitting on me and my friend.
What?
That sounds about
That
right.
happens in comedy?
What? I never.
We were like, okay, could you get back to the jokes? We're not coming back to your hotel room, okay? Just be funny.
Minneapolis, St. Paul has always been a great comedy market anyway.
Yep.
But the one thing, and I do understand, it all has to do with time has moved on and but I really miss the Bobby Slaytons of the world who used to come to town at least once a year. And those guys they just don't tour anymore, do they?
Nah, they don't.
No.
And I'm 57 and still lucky and thrilled that I'm still able to get out there. But yeah,
that's great.
That crowd, the Bobby Slayton, those guys, man, that was when I was coming up. They were king of the hill, man. They were the best.
It was wonderful. We were just talking about Louis the other day. Missed the hell out of Louis Anderson.
Yeah, Louis used to tell young comedians who were looking for advice to move to Minneapolis.
He did. Yep.
And do the comedy scene in Minneapolis.
Kermit, is it tougher now? Because, boy, there is a cutoff right at 35 years old that if you're 36 and older or 35 and younger, you are completely different people.
Yep.
Is it an education thing? Did this happen at school? What happened?
Well, I think that during lockdown, we were all on our phones.
True.
We were kind of scrolling the things that are close to us. So I think as we come out of lockdown, the group that's 21 to 30, they were really the ones that we're going to go out, we're going to watch comedians. And all of a sudden, as soon as things opened up, you had these comedians just filling theaters like crazy, right?
Right.
And Taylor Tomlinson, people like that, people are like, I need to see this person live. But what happens is that the algorithm sends them the comedians that go towards them.
Yeah.
And it becomes a much more narrow thing, right? And so you've seen audiences really become specific in age, right? Whereas someone like Louis used to perform to 20-somethings all the way to 70-somethings, right?
Yes, right.
People that could get audiences from everywhere. Now comics are drawing audiences in much closer circles in a very cocoon way. And so if you're over 35, and also you need to have the savvy of how to promote in that new form. The good thing about the new form is that there's not as many. It's not gatekeepers, right? When I started, there were these handful of gatekeepers, and you had to get to them to get through, to get a special, to get on late night, to do whatever. And now, these comedians, these young comedians, are building their own audience to where a club can go, I know very little about this comedian, but I know they'll bring in 400 people over a weekend. Just from their promotion, right, without us doing anything, and so those kind of things are are huge in the way it works now. But you're absolutely right. If you're over 35, you're sort of unsavvy to it all, and you're also perceived as unsavvy, even if you are good at it.
Yep.
And so I'm lucky. I started a long time ago. I've got different types of shows that can fill the schedule. But man, I can't imagine if you start at 32 right now and it takes you till like 35 before you're good enough to get gigs. I can't imagine what that's like right now.
But it's got to be very, I just had this thing pop in my head talking about Bobby Slayton. The last time I saw him live was at the New Hope Cinema Grill. I don't know if you ever worked out there, but at New Hope Cinema Grill, they still do shows once in a while, don't they, Andy? But not all the time.
I think they do a decent amount of shows.
Oh, do they still? Mm-hmm. I will never forget this, Kermit. I don't know if it had ever happened to you, but Bobby, I handled it really, really well. He's up on stage, he's telling jokes and all the rest of us. And about 2 tables away, there's a young couple, probably in the mid 30s, maybe even early 30s. And the woman looks at the guy and goes, "This comedian's not funny at all." In full voice, she says it to her date. "Why did you tell me this? You said if I would go out on a date with you, that you'd bring me to a comedy show and we'd laugh, we'd have a really good time. This guy's not funny at all." And she's getting louder and louder and louder.
Oh, man.
And all of a sudden, she gets up and says, "I would never think of dating you again," and stomps out of the room. All because she didn't think Bobby Slayton was funny.
So let me tell you a Bobby Slayton story. So
whoops.
When I was doing open mic, I was working at United Airlines at SeaTac at the airport.
Ooh.
And so I was walking around the terminal, and I was walking by the sort of bar, thing there, and they had the noon news. Seattle, one of the stations had the noon news, and occasionally, not a lot, but occasionally they would have a comedian on if they had a lot of TV credits.
Oh, okay.
And they come on for about 5 minutes and make some jokes and promote the shows, So I'm walking by and I hear Bobby Slayton is with us today, and I turned my head. I went, "Oh no!" I literally said that out loud because even as an open micer, I knew Bobby's. I had seen him live, and I'm like, "What is he going to do on the news?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
So his first joke, he says, I took a cab here, and the cab driver was telling me, in my country, I was a doctor. And I said, "What does that take? A chicken foot and a Band-Aid?" Right? and the 2 newscasters had this sort of awkward laugh. They let him do one more joke, and that interview was over. "Well, thank you, Bobby. Thanks for coming." All week. Yeah. They cut that interview to 1 minute, and man, and I was just sitting there watching this in the airport, laughing so hard because I knew as soon as they said his name, I'm like, "Oh, you're going to have him on the noon news? You're crazy."
Yeah, they are crazy.
Yeah.
We'll take a very quick break. Be right back in about 2 minutes. Kermit is at Acme tonight, tomorrow night, and Sunday show as well tonight, tomorrow. How many days? Tonight and tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, just tomorrow. Tonight, tomorrow.
Sunday shows are getting rarer and rarer, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah, Sundays are getting more and more rare. No question. Today's show brought to you by Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Back with Kermit right after this.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Let us take a second to talk about my bank, North American Banking Company. You've heard me talking about them for a long time now. When they opened in 1998, they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers, where you know your banker and they know you. While a lot has changed since 1998, this commitment to bring a true community bank to the Twin Cities, well, it has not. That hasn't changed at all, as a matter of fact. It's wonderful. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends? And Mike Bilski is my friend. That's very true. I'm not making it up. At North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com or stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with K. I just call you KA now. I'll just use your initials. What do you say?
Loves that.
That's great.
Does anybody know how to pronounce your last name?
I don't. I don't worry about it so much because I mean, it's a name with more vowels than consonants, so I don't. You know what I mean?
But did they say Apio and things like that?
Yeah, it varies, but I don't worry about and really being a comedy MC. You're usually the newest person on the show. There's a lot of details. The club wants you to make these announcements and those announcements. I don't make a big deal out of it. It's a weird Hawaiian name. So yes, I have gotten a lot of pronunciations on it.
Why would anyone ever leave Hawaii? I don't understand that.
Well, how many comedy
when it's
shows
time
can
to
you do?
sacrifice the virgins, you make decisions.
Yeah, there you go. Now, where did you grow up in Hawaii?
I grew up on Oahu. Yeah,
on Oahu.
Yeah. God,
wonderful
it's
spot.
So beautiful there.
It is, no question. I told Kermit this story many, many years ago. I don't even know how many years ago. Yeah. First time we were ever there, I got on an elevator at our hotel, and there was a family from Japan there, and he asked me if I would push the button for his floor because he couldn't reach it. He wasn't tall enough to reach the button. I thought, what the hell is this?
Yeah, the hotel we stayed at had a convention, and I'm 5'9", and they were looking at me like, "What is this?
Yeah,
I don't know what to do with this information."
Pictures of like Dutch women going to Japan.
Oh yeah,
in the convenience stores, and they look like mythological creatures.
Yeah, India is the same way.
Convenience stores, because Japanese convenience stores are like, you have not been in a crowded building. It's literally like if you've ever seen Hoarders, where they have to carve a path through all the crap.
Right.
That's how Japanese convenience stores look. So imagine this 6'4" person trying to sidle their way through all that.
Well, I'm 6'2".
Yeah, there you go.
And that automatically made me a center in high school basketball.
Yeah.
There was no hey, I'd rather be a forward. No. You're 6'2". You're a center.
Yeah.
Get in there and rebound. Yeah, it's automatic if you're over 6 feet.
Funny.
So how often do you get back home?
I get back a few times a year. My yes, my son went to college there, so. So he's in college now. So I grew up in Hawaii, went to college in Seattle, and he grew up in Seattle and is going to college in Hawaii.
I would say this, and even if you don't play golf, one time in your life, even if you don't play the game, you have to play golf in Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's a magnificent experience. It really is wonderful.
It is. The golf courses are absolutely amazing there. And
yep.
And I will tell people the golf courses are really nice. And I will tell people, look, at the beginning of the round, I'll say, I am a terrible golfer, but here's what's going to happen. I'm not slowing you down. I hate slowing it down. So if I make a bad shot, I'm going to walk into the forest and look for it for a while, and then I'm going to look at the ocean and pick up my ball, and I'll meet you guys at the green.
That's how I golf.
Yes,
it's the only way to golf.
To me, the courses are so beautiful there that I don't have to hit every single shot, right? So
you ever just go there and pretend to hit a ball?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I'm totally golfing. Just carry a golf club around and walk.
We stayed at Poipu Beach.
Yeah.
Poipu Bay.
Is that Maui?
No, that's Kauai. That's on the south side of
Kauai.
Kauai.
That's Kauai. I got my islands mixed up. Sorry. Well, anyway, we decided we were going to drive to the top of some crater, volcano crater.
Yep.
There's a lot of those in Hawaii.
It took us forever to get up there, and we weren't smart enough to check to see, whether or not it was going to be fogged in that day.
Oh,
so we got all the way up there to look at fog. I'm like, it's Hawaii. It's got to be beautiful all the time. What do you mean fog? What?
Yeah, well, and that's that area up there on that part of Kauai is one of the rainiest spots in the world. So you do have to check. Yes, they get a ton of rain and a lot of clouds.
Too late now, and I'll probably never get back.
That was 25 years ago, right?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago we went there.
Well, I will tell you this, and I'm not trying to drag everybody down here, but when you go, you have to go to Pearl Harbor because that is quite the experience. There is, I mean, it really is amazing to stand there on that ground and look at that site.
And
we just can't stop talking about Japan, can we?
Yes, that's oh, that's cold. That was really cold.
Historically accurate. So.
Well, yeah, I will back you up on that, Tom. It is the way they've done the layout of it. They have a timeline that they set up, and the information is all amazing, and the stories they tell about it, and just it's really, really well done. I'm even if you don't, because it's hard sometimes to get a reservation to go over to the Arizona.
Yeah,
you know, there's the memorial that's
it's
right
still
on top
there.
of the ship.
Yeah,
but sometimes that can be really hard to get a reservation. There's only one boat that goes across, and even if you can't, the thing on the shore there is free, and it's well worth your time. I agree, it's really amazing.
What percentage of Hawaii's population at any given time is tourists?
I wouldn't know the number.
It's got to be like at least 10-20%.
Yeah. It's the economy.
Yeah. So imagine trying to get into a tourist trap in a place that's like half tourists.
Yeah.
Well, it's true though. You look at things that you see these waterfalls, and you go, "That can't be real," but it is.
It's just like
it's stunning.
It's like landing in Jurassic Park without the dinosaurs. It's great.
That's very true.
So Hawaii has a population of 1.4 million.
Really?
Every year they get 10 million tourists.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a few tourists there.
Yeah, just a few.
Amazing.
I like how it says with the majority arriving by air.
Well,
as opposed to
they have a lot of
6-month voyage from.
There's a lot of cruise ships that go in there from.
That takes a while.
Yeah, that takes a while. Yeah.
But God, what
I do occasionally I do a ship that goes from San Diego to Hawaii, and it's in Hawaii for 5 days, and it goes back to San Diego. It's a 17-day cruise, 12 of them at sea.
Yeah,
at sea.
Kidding.
6 out and 6 back. Yeah.
One of the jokes I do in my first show there is I say, you know, as a comedian, you want to know something about your audience, right? That way you can connect in some way. And is there something that connects us all? And I said, I realized something that all of you at some point said, I want to go to Hawaii, but not quickly.
And only for a couple of minutes.
Yeah. I said, you're the people that go, honey, you want to go to that restaurant? We're like, yeah, but let's circle the block for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But what's kind of cool is on your way out there, you'd be thinking about, if you've never been there, what am I going to see? You're doing a lot of reading. You got books with you. Takes 6 days to get there.
It's too many days.
And then you're there. Oh,
in my opinion.
I'm trying to build this beautiful scenery, and she's just pissing all over it here.
I know.
Unbelievable.
I'll fly.
But then you have 6 days on that ship going back home to think about all the stuff you did in Hawaii, how beautiful it was, how wonderful. What was the disc jockey's name there again? He was a white guy. His whole
Aku Head Pupule.
Pupule, Aku Head Pupule. That's exactly who it was. What a story he was. I don't know. How did he ever get that done? I mean, he was a big deal in Hawaii, if I remember correctly.
He made himself a big deal. He created that whole thing. It didn't exist that way in Hawaii. It became huge because, you know, morning radio was more like you know, Walter Cronkite. They'd come on and they'd report what happened in the news, right?
Yep.
The personality part of it, that was Aku. He brought that in and sort of started giving his opinions, and all of a sudden had these segments of humor and different things, and really created that genre and became it. I mean, I can't remember the percentage, but he was like 80 or 90% of the radio audience every morning.
He was, yeah. He had the biggest ratings in the world, as a matter of fact, percentage-wise.
2 very culturally identifiable names. So his radio name, Aku Head Pupule, it's like, you know, you're going to think Hawaii immediately when you hear that name. His real name, what ethnicity do you suppose Herschel Hohenstein was? I can't figure it out.
I can't begin to think about that. No.
Well, I should say that. So, Tom, one of the first times I did the show with you is when you mentioned that you had contacted your influence, and I couldn't believe that. I was like, wait, you know who that is?
I remember this conversation actually.
And I remember that you told me his real name. I had no idea. I grew up in Hawaii and never knew that name.
Absolutely.
And I was like, what? That's his name?
Unfortunately, he didn't live to be that old, though, did he? I think he died. I'm not really young, but I think he was not much past 60, was he? I think
died in 1983. He was born in 17, so he was,
so he was only
65.
65.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I knew he died young.
Yeah,
I suppose back then that wasn't that young, though. I suppose then. Oh no, it's still pretty young.
Born in 1917. That's a decent amount of time ago. That's over 100 years.
Yeah.
So.
That's a long
Yep.
time.
I remember when he passed. I was in high school. So,
God.
Let's see. U.S. life expectancy in 1917 was 50.9.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Well, 1918 flu pandemic did not help because it lowered life expectancy in that year to 39.
Yeah, it killed a lot of people.
So,
Well, yeah.
and then you got 2 world wars. You got Vietnam. You got Korea.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was a tough time to be alive.
Yeah.
I remember when we went, so that Poipu Beach that we stayed at, I remember we rented sort of kind of a townhouse. Dave Hamilton's hooked us up with this. He's like, you got to go to this place. It's great because the sun always shines there. I think Poipu Beach means hole in the sky or something. And the sun's always shining. It's great. So we get there, treacherous flight from the big island over there. I remember thinking they should not have us on an airplane. We were whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And the kids are looking at me like, I'm like, I don't know, we might, hopefully we make it. It was very scary. But we finally get in the place and we open it up and it's a little stuffy. So Tom says, you got to turn on the AC. It's really stuffy in here. So I'm looking all over for a thermostat, I'm like, I can't find one. I don't know where where it could be. So I call the number. That's if you have any problems, call us. I call and I said, I can't find the thermostat to turn on the air conditioner. And she says, we don't have air conditioning. You open up the windows.
Open the window.
And I'm like, what? From somebody from
right.
Minnesota, where you either got air conditioning on or heat at all times. There's no season where you can't have something running.
No, we have like 2 weeks out of the year.
Yeah, we have maybe a day here and there. You can actually open the windows and turn off something. I was like, I don't know if we can live like this.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah, is that true? Is that true? Like, you really don't have to have air conditioning there?
It is true to. It definitely was true as I was growing up. So,
okay.
But it's become, so Honolulu is a big city. It's
sure.
Buildings and roads. So the average temperature on Oahu is different from the other islands. It's actually
sure.
like 2 or 3 degrees higher. So a lot of my relatives now have some kind of like window unit or something, they do have, or at least the living room has an air conditioner, right? And then the bedroom, you just open the window. But everybody has something now. But back when I was growing up, nobody had air conditioning. It was
I couldn't believe it. It was wonderful to just have the ocean breezes coming in. It was fantastic. But it was just so foreign to us to not even have anything. We don't have heat. We don't have AC.
Yeah, I was there in August moving my son in to school there, and we were moving some things in, and I am just soaking. I'm pouring with sweat, right? And he goes, "Dad, you okay?" And I go, "I used to play football in this."
Yeah, you
a very good point.
Yeah, I'm so Seattle now that I just moving some of his stuff into the dorm, I was exhausted.
How often does Seattle get above 80-something degrees? Can't be that often.
Well, actually, summer we're right around there, and in the summertime, it's one of the most beautiful cities you'll ever go to because we had so much rain, everything's still green in the summer.
Oh yeah,
but and then so we get a bunch of really beautiful days. It's just not a ton of them, right?
Yeah.
So we do get over 80 for like mid-July to mid-August is, but it's not much more than that. It's usually about 75 to 85 in the summer.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's gorgeous in the summer. It's just sometimes summer is a month and a half.
Oh, that's pretty short.
Yes. You get a month and a half. We'll take a quick break, be right back, come back and wrap things up with Kermit. He is at Acme. If you've never seen him, you got to go because you've got that personality. It fits that job perfectly. It just does.
Oh, that's so kind. Thank you.
Well, it's true. Be right back in a couple of seconds, right after this. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser. My Pill is excited to announce that they are extending the mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save $40 on the new spring My Pillow bed sheets, any size, any color. Get the 6-piece bath or kitchen towel sets for only $29.98. The initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And the best-selling standard My Pillow, just $14.98. Take advantage of the mega sale 2.0. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM, T-O-M. But that's not all. You will get free shipping on orders over $75. I'm an alligator. Today's show brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. Kermet Apio in studio with us, ladies and gentlemen. Now, a quick memory. I know we got to get going here pretty soon to allow you to have a life, but the Black Sand Beach.
Yeah.
Which island is that on again?
That was on the Big Island in the town of Kalapana. And I think there's another one in Maui, though. But it was on the Big Island, Kalapana. It got covered in an eruption in the 90s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really weird. You walk along the rocks and you see the tops of street signs, the metal signs.
Oh, God.
Yeah, because as the lava covered the town, the metal hung in there. Mm-hmm. And so you see the tops of street signs sticking up above the rock. So that beach disappeared, and which really bummed me out because I went there as a kid, and it was just
wonderful.
Thing. Yeah.
You just got to dig it up.
We went there, and I will never forget this, and I can't remember, me and another guy went over there, and all the people at the hotel said, okay, yes, go over there, but do not stop at the top of because there was a road that went up the hill and then another one that went down the hill to the beach. They said, do not stop on top of the mountain up there. Just go straight ahead. And I said, why not stop? Because there's a group of guys up there that don't want you there. They don't want any foreigners up there at all. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember their name. But there was a reason to stop. There was some kind of fountain or something to see. And I said, they can't be that tough of guys. What the hell's the difference in it? So we went stopped and saw this. It's probably not there anymore because of the
the lava. Something 7 Veils or 7 Falls or something. It was something like that.
Something like that.
Oh, the 7 Sacred Pools.
There is 7 Sacred Pools.
That's on Maui.
That's it.
But we're up there looking at this magnificent thing. And these gigantic men came out of that. I mean, these guys, and they had a particular name I don't remember. It started with an S, I think. But they were very, very nice to us. They didn't, because they told us at the hotel they'll threaten you, and if they have to, they'll take you deep. And they never even bothered us. I will never forget that. They were very, very pleasant. So we went to Black Sand Beach. That was something to see, and I'm really sorry that nobody can see it any longer because it was. And I'm really happy I got to see it now. It's no longer there. That's wonderful.
MB in the chat asked, is Kermit's son a rainbow? And I was like, that's a very personal question. When she clarified, the college over there, they're the Rainbow Warriors.
The Rainbow Warriors.
Rainbow Warriors, yep.
And right now, my son does video highlight reels. So he's in Vegas right now for the women's basketball tournament, and he's taking video of them, and he also helps them practice on scout teams. So he's been practicing with them this week and everything. So he's having a great time. He's getting paid to be in Vegas while in college. It took me 20 years.
to get paid in Vegas. Absolutely. Kermit, you got to come back. It's wonderful to see you again, even though it's from a distance, to see you on camera. And God, it's been many, many years you've been coming in, and I really appreciate your time. And Catherine and I will, and Andy, Alex, our daughter as well, will never forget our trips to Hawaii. It's a wonderful place.
Well, I'll tell you, I am so thankful for everything, because I know you've had comedians with a ton more credits than I have, and you've always been so great to me over the years, and your appreciation of Hawaii is the best, because I'm still, even though I haven't lived there in 38 years, I'm still really connected to Hawaii. Oh yeah. So when I hear your stories, it's just heartwarming. And I really do. Over the years, thank you so much for all your support. I really appreciate it.
Oh, Kermit,
so when you retire there and you build a guest house, you let us know.
Yeah, there you go. We should get back to Hawaii.
That's her exact plan.
Kermit, thank you so much for coming in. I hope we'll see you again soon.
I hope so too.
Andy, that's going to do it. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Every time I hear the same, reminds me how you talking.